Risk of material misstatement and interim testing. The assessment of the risks of material misstatement at the financial statement level is affected by the auditor's understanding of the control environment. So when you're determining that audit risk formula, you want to understand the control environment, which is going to affect the control risk. An effective control environment may allow the auditor to have more confidence in internal control and the reliability of audit evidence generated internally within the entity. Thus, for example, it's going to allow the auditor to perform some audit procedures at an interim date rather than at a period end. Instead of testing the absolute entire year, if their internal controls are stellar and solid, you are totally good. You may not even need to test the last month of the year, something like that. In reality, as I said multiple times, when it comes to that, you're going to test the whole year. But for the purposes of the exam, and even for, let's say, small clients, now I've never done an audit that took a day. I had an interview at a firm I was going to possibly work there, and a lot of audits they did were for very small companies, and it took them maybe a few hours to do the entire audit, right? And that's because it's a small client, it's a very small company. You can get it all done very quickly. But in that case, maybe you're just going to test the interim date. For example, the auditor could perform audit procedures as of the period end rather than at an interim date, seek more extensive audit evidence from procedures, modify the nature of an audit procedures to obtain more evidence, or increase the number of locations to be included in the audit scope. These are all actions to be taken if, let's say, the internal controls are not as solid and control risk is higher. We want to maintain that audit risk formula, and if we determine that the control risk is higher, we want to reduce detection risk by doing more procedures. Substantive and combined testing approaches. What is this concept of combined testing approaches? Such considerations, therefore, have a significant bearing on the auditor's general approach. So everything we've talked about, including all those risks. For example, an emphasis on substantive procedures, also known as the substantive approach, or an approach that uses tests of controls as well as substantive procedures. The combined approach, you may see this in the exam, and just as you see it throughout the course, the combined approach is testing internal controls as well as testing accounts through substantive procedures, because maybe you need to, right? Use your professional judgment. And the substantive approach is focused on testing account balances, while the combined approach includes testing both the account balances and internal controls. Now, generally, you're going to always want to poke and prod at internal controls throughout the audit. That's something that you want to do to constantly assess that control risk. And also, if you can assess control risk more beneficially for you, then that is less testing to do.
Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.